Okay. We just want to apologize for the loss of transmission. This was due to a lot of issues, and we'll manage to get it fixed. But yesterday we interviewed what her name, Caroline S. Baker, the wife of the late Christian Baker. And when we talked to her, she made some serious allegations and claims. She displayed some paperwork. We saw them, saw those paperwork, though we cannot, authenticate or corroborate the, authenticity of them. But then she made some claims about, and counterclaims about, Vannie and his sister. And good journalism calls for us to flip the coin and hear the other side of the story. So we did that. We reached out to Vannie, and he agreed to come on today. And then we decided to give him his day in court. We will see if Vannie have joined the broadcast, so that now he and myself, we have worked out in the back. We're friends, Vannie and I. So I expect him now in the search, that we will be able to find him. No result. Oh, Baker, no results found. So we hope that Vannie will. We see Lincoln. We're waiting. Yeah, Elisha, we cannot say, whether the husband is dead. Vannie will come and confirm that whether the husband is dead. We are awaiting Vannie, and we hope that he will join us. Thanks for watching, Yasa. And I think this evening we will be addressing the Facebook page issues on here. So I hope maybe by 10-11 tonight, right after Josephine comes on, we will be addressing that, and those with concern can also, give their concern. And so we're here, and it's our hope that, Vannie joins us and, share with us his views. Let's get some, it's a good one. Let's get some light here. Yeah, Johnny, good luck. We're still on Vannie's issue, so we're waiting for him. And good morning, Rebecca. Yeah, we're waiting for Vannie to come on. Vannie, we're on, and we hope that Vannie will come on. All of you that are following, Elisha, Yasa, Ramsey Don. No, Ramsey, to be honest with you, I would have asked Facebook, technically, before I serve as Director General of the Liberian News Agency, I had a couple of pages, and it's one of them we flipped just to do our work, But it's a long story. However, legally, it is our personal, stuff. How Meta works, how, Facebook works. Even your email address, You don't pay money for it. It's something you register with your social security numbers and all that. We left drones, cameras, a lot of stuff in those offices, and we're not bothered about what people say. Let me remind you that in Liberia here, people talk about, oh, you know, your knee, you know, integrity, blah, 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 you did, you got to work for government again. But Prince Johnson working for government, you get called over. A lot of corrupt officials, all of them still work for government. They get recycled. It is the little person. So now, the work people follow, you know, content. They don't follow pages. There are over 7 Liberian news agency pages. So if those pages were doing good, people would have followed them. People are only following here because of the Panorama. People don't even read anything about government we post here, except they see we're, you know, in the trenches talking to ordinary citizens. So even if we move, you know, it's like Ronaldo leaving Barcelona and you're a Ronaldo fan, people will follow him in whatever team he goes to play. So, yeah, Johnny, good luck, sir, mine. Okay, I got Vannie back now. I hope we can have Vannie this time. This should be a rapid one. And I will see Vannie will join us instantly because he already sent. Yeah, we got Vannie.
Hello.
Hello, I'm excited.
So, how are you?
How are you, my dear brother?
I am well. Sorry for the technical difficulties. You know,
Right.
at my age, these little technical things here can be a little challenging. Apparently, I only had Facebook Lite on my phone, and when you use Facebook Lite, you don't see the buttons. So that was the issue. I had to install Facebook, the full Facebook.
Oh,
So
okay.
that was the issue. So I apologize.
Guys,
But I'm here.
I hope you learned something new. You had to do the whole Facebook, not the Facebook Live. If you go Facebook Lite, it's just LITE, and it's a good thing.
Yes.
In a couple of years, I will be great like you.
Yeah, it's a blessing to have gray.
Right.
I count it a blessing because there are many that started with us that didn't make it this far.
Wow.
So it is a blessing.
Wow, you're so right. But it's a good thing. Yesterday we spoke. I told you about your cousin Hester. She's a good friend.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We worked on a lot of projects together. You know.
Yes.
And I like her because she's not political. That's and she's been doing it. Right. You know, Liberians, man, they always want to drag you in this. But anyway, let's get to it for our viewers, those who have been following. I will introduce my guest. He is Vaanii O Baker, the brother. He will do a more thorough introduction of his late brother, Christian E. Baker. And yesterday we featured his wife, and I'm saying his alleged wife, Caroline S. Baker, that according to her, that Vannie and his sister were trying to lock her out of her spouse's property. And now he is the new administrator. There's a whole lot of skidding allegations that were made. And journalistically, we thought to reach out to Vannie to flip the coin because there's always two sides to a story. I will give Vannie the opportunity. Vannie, who is Vaanii Baker? Introduce yourself. You want to get closer to the camera a little bit. Get close. Right. That's beautiful. And let's get to it.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Weeks. Thank you for this opportunity to join you as a follow-up to the interview that you did yesterday with one Caroline Tamba. And I'm going to use that name throughout this interview. Her
Oh,
name is Caroline Tamba. You can check her Facebook page. She has 2 Facebook pages, and they both carry the name of Caroline Tamba. So I will introduce myself. I'm Vaanii Baker, the youngest of 3 boys to my mother and father, who were Christian Baker Sr. and Amelia Dunbar Baker. Some might know, my family name, and this is the reason why I came on this live. This is the only reason I came on this live, because I will not tolerate my family's name being smeared by some people that are less than living with integrity. Let me just put it that way. So some might know that my father was the first Liberian president of Cottonton University. Okay. So I would just, Christian is his junior. There are 3 boys. I'm the last, and then my youngest sister, Claude. Prior to prior to my father marrying my mother, he had 1 son prior to getting married, and his name was Henry. Henry is our oldest brother, and he is also deceased. So there are 3 remaining children. It's my brother George, who is the second, me, Vannie, who is the third, and my youngest, my sister Claude. Kwame, I couldn't help but wonder last night as I was watching this video that you did. Let me state for the record up front, I'm very happy she did the video. Not everybody sees it that way, but for me, I am ecstatic that she did the video, because there were a number of inconsistencies in her story yesterday. And I know there are inconsistencies because I know the truth. And I will point out several of them during this discussion.
we'll
But
do that.
I couldn't help but wonder, why are we here? She said she wanted peace, and she left. She admitted that she left the compound. So why are we here? She said she wanted closure, right? She said she wanted closure. So she can go and seek that closure. So why exactly are we here? She said she wanted to be left alone, right?
Yeah.
And she left the compound. It's been a year since she's left, and nobody has gone after her. So why are we here? She came and brought this up. None of us have been pursuing her. She came and brought this up. She said she wants to be left alone just to live her life. We gave her $4,000.
Okay.
And she admitted
We will get
that yesterday.
yeah. For your talk,
Let me just two more points, and then
okay.
I will shut up and listen. She said she wanted to just live her normal life. As a family, we gave her $4,000 US in cash for housing. So why are we here? And the last point is, she said that she doesn't want property, but if there was one clarity she spoke with yesterday, was all of the properties that she is aware of. She listed every single one. So why are we here? But she's not interested in property. I look forward to this interview.
Great, great, and I like that flawless introduction. And but before we delve into the interview, so okay, we were talking about all of these things. I think let me just go straight to the point. Is Christian Baker Senior, Christian E. Baker Senior, right? Am I correct? Junior.
Junior, yes, Junior. She was talking about Junior.
Right. Is he alive?
Well, of course he is not. And I think I even commented on your video yesterday when someone said they had found him in Mississippi or something.
Yeah, he came
something
back to
that
say
effect.
he came back to say same name after he picked up the photo.
Right. Okay. Well, And that is extremely painful. Let me just say that, to have lost a brother that was the protector. He was a protector of all. He was the oldest. From being little kids, Krishna always protected us. So for someone to come on and claim that they don't know whether or not he's dead, but for them closure, they want to see the grave. And then also, I don't know why I'm getting an echo, but also she came on. Are you hearing the echo as well? Okay, now it's gone. She came on and she had a program of his funeral, but she doesn't know whether he's alive or not. I even posted on the video yesterday. I posted the death announcement that was on that was online. I posted that. I posted a picture. Even though I didn't want to, I posted a picture of my brother lying in a casket. I posted that. I also posted pictures from the funeral.
Do you
will tell you
that? Do you have that photo with you?
It's on the. People can go to the video from yesterday. I commented 3 or 4 times on that video. It's listed on that video. Yeah. It's there. It's there. So people can. I don't want to parade my brother.
I don't want to put you to compound your grief.
I'm not going to do that.
A yes or no answer if he was dead or alive.
Well, let me just say the last thing about that. It will interest you to know that Caroline had the link for the funeral. And let me point out the first inconsistency. There are many. She told you yesterday that she was not aware. We planned the funeral in a vacuum. She was not aware. That's a lie. She received a link, a Zoom link. We broadcasted the entire funeral. She had a link. But here's where the lie came in. She said she wasn't aware, but yet and still she said people from her church came to sympathize with her on the day of the funeral. So why did people from her church come to sit with her at the day of the funeral if she wasn't aware, but people at her church were aware? This lady is a diabolical liar, and I will point out every single lie that she made.
Okay. And thanks for that, but I'm still asking you a simple question for our viewers. Is Christian E. Baker Jr. alive or dead?
Christian E. Baker Sr. is deceased. Christian E. Baker Jr. is deceased as well.
When was the first time you met? First, before we talk about that, is Caroline married to or was married to your brother? I think a yes or no. A yes or no. You're gonna explain after the next question. You're gonna have 2-3 minutes to explain.
Okay.
I just need a yes or no.
Response to that. My response to that is no.
They're not married.
We can get into that, or I can expand expound on that.
To explain. You were explaining later on. I just got 2 questions, and then the next one. You're saying they're not married, or you're not aware that they are married.
Well, no. If you can't just ask me to give you a yes or no answer without. Let me ask you another question. If someone is legally married, can they marry again? Christian was legally married in the States, and you brought that up yesterday.
Yes, sir.
And she got annoyed. Yes,
sir. You saw me impressed her. You saw me impressed her because you were not dead, and I will grill you because she's not here as well. I will always play the devil advocate. I just need
I welcome
simple, right? You're given. I just need to know what was the connection between. Once you are about to explain 5-10 minutes, I will give you 2 questions.
Mm-hmm.
Was she married to your brother? And is the little girl the child of your brother? Go ahead and explain. I just need yes and no on those 2, and then you can explain on those answers later on.
Okay, so my response is she was not legally married to my brother. Okay. That's the response to the first question.
Not second, legally. Okay, and the child?
And the second second response to your second question is yes, Catalina is my brother's child.
Okay, go ahead now. You can explain. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. So I also noticed from the video yesterday when you pressed her in the beginning, when you pressed her about her being aware of him having any other relationship, she got annoyed. And if you go back and watch the video, you will see. Because at one point you said, but was she mentioned his first marriage, which must have ended some 25, 26 years ago. But she skipped
Okay.
over his current marriage and talked about hers. And then you pressed her.
Yeah.
And she flippantly said he was not married. You can go back and watch the video.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
yes,
You're right.
that is because you were hitting the nail on the head. Okay. Then she also said, so that let me stay focused on that. Um, she she was fully aware that Christian was married in the US. And excuse me, I told you I'm not feeling too well.
Yeah. Yeah.
She
Get some
she
water.
she knew that Christian was married in the US, and that's why she continued to press and push him to get married. They did a traditional, from what I understand, because I wasn't there, which was another lie. I was in country when they quote unquote did their traditional wedding. And can you imagine, as his only brother in country, I didn't go to the wedding. I didn't even know about it. I found out about it after the fact. When
Why?
someone told me, "Oh, your brother got married yesterday," I said, "Come on, stop kidding." And they said, "No, Christian got married yesterday." I said, "No, Christian would have invited me." So, I mean, there you have it. So
Let me
the
just
only
inject
living,
this point five
sure,
seconds, and then you can continue. The documents. Yeah. Take your time. Get some water.
yes.
The the documents that I saw and held, although I cannot go back to the archive, those suggest that he legally, and I'm saying because I can't corroborate whether those documents are authentic, but if you look at them, you know that they're marriage certificates, and that by Liberian law, those documents are legally or generated, and that she legally married to your brother.
Um, maybe by Liberia's standard, but as far as I know, Liberia does not have a law allowing polygamy. I stand to be corrected. So if I go, and I also know that anything uh, done in court or by the law through a lie is not legal. So she was fully aware, and Christian was also fully aware that he did not divorce his wife in the US.
Did you
And
warn your brother to say don't hurt someone's child, or did you stop either one of them that this day would have come? What were your intervention?
I told you I was not made because, and I suppose that's why, and I'm not going to speculate, but I told you I didn't even know they got married. I found out about it 2 days after when a mutual friend that was present at the wedding
What did you
told me
do
that
2 days after? Did you sit your brother down and say, look, this thing you're getting into, Carolina, what did y'all do day before yesterday at the church? It's illegal. You're going to get in trouble. They man got married. They man got woman in America, in my Liberian parlance. Carry paperwork back. My brother is married. Did you talk to her like that, or did you talk to your brother like that?
so the first time I met Caroline, she was when she attended my sister's 50th birthday party that was held at Bella Casa
She
in
said that.
2017. Yes, my sister was born in 1967, so her 50th birthday was 2017
Mhm.
in Monrovia. Do the math.
She
All
said that.
right. That was, yes, she said that was the first time the family ever met Caroline. That was the first time I laid eyes on her. That was the first time, um, my sister ever saw her, and she didn't speak to us, and we didn't speak to her. I didn't know who she was. But I was never in the business of admonishing my older brother. Never. So he did what he wanted. If he asked me for my counsel, I gave it to him, but I was not in the business of lecturing my oldest brother.
So you think he hurt her? He
I think
misled her?
she, no, I just told you she was fully aware that he was married.
But
I
sir,
listen,
it is in our tradition, women don't propose to men. It is us who propose to them. So was she
well,
misled by your late brother?
I just told you no, she was complicit in it. She was not misled. In fact, I think she trapped him. That's the only reason she even
She
had
trapped
this
him.
child. She trapped him, yes. And I will expand on that later. She trapped him. She doesn't care about that little child. You asked her why she took that child to court. She, every single day we were in court, and which was another lie, by the way. I attended court session maybe 4 or 5 times before leaving Liberia. She said I went once. That was a lie. But every single day she went to court, she pulled that child out of school and took that child to the courthouse. And you tell me that's what you would want your 5-year-old child experiencing, sitting in court and hearing you and her uncle sit before the judge? I will tell you that child, she even mentioned it yesterday, that child was like a daughter to me. That very sickly, and he spent a lot of time in the US. I have videos of that child coming. In fact, there were many mornings where she didn't even know where the child was. The child was in my apartment. The child would visit me on a daily basis. That child was like my child. Okay? So, we'll go into more details, but she never cared for that child. She would leave the child in the compound every single day. The child would run around in the compound, and you know who she left babysitting that child? The security.
Did
My
your
wife was,
brother love Carolina? Did he show any affection to her?
oh, I mean, that's love is in the eye of the beholder, right? I can't,
Okay.
I can't sit here
Did
and
you
tell you.
what did you see in the eyes of the beholder on the side?
I mean, they were together. And judging from what I know, I think he did love her.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he did. I mean, she told you the story yesterday about how he made it to Ghana even though he was sick.
Did that
And
happen?
yes, that happened. But like I said from the onset, I am so happy she did this video because
But,
she
but,
revealed a
but
lot of
why
things
would
that
a
we didn't
sick
know.
person, a sick person, maybe terminally ill person, will want to go get his last moment with this particular woman and a child? You're from the West.
Very good question. I'm not from the West. I'm born and raised in Liberia. I lived in Liberia from 2008
But I mean,
to,
everything
and
about
so
us is
I
Xerox by
lived.
Western. We're Westernized. You know that. Come on.
Okay. Well, yeah, but I'm not from the West.
Yeah.
But here's a question I have that stated on the video yesterday that when she saw her husband for the first time, he had lost a lot of weight and she could see his ribs.
Yeah.
And she mentioned that his legs were swollen. And
Yeah.
she said, which I don't believe, but she said, she asked him, why did you come? The reason I don't believe it is because she forced him to come. She wanted him to come that Christmas, but we stopped him from coming because he was hospitalized prior to Christmas and only got out 2 or 3 days before Christmas. And we told him, you cannot travel in this condition. She wanted him to come then. He was troubled by the fact that he missed that Christmas trip, and that's why when he could, at the earliest, he went to Ghana. But here's the question that I have
Where
for you,
was this? Yeah,
Mr.
go
Reed.
ahead.
Let me
Go ahead.
ask you
No,
this
you go
question.
ahead. No,
As
you
a
go ahead.
wife, as a wife that said she wanted to come to the US to care for her husband, you see someone that is obviously severely ill, legs are swollen, and she knew why they were swollen. She knew my brother had a heart condition and he had a problem with his kidneys. She knew that.
She
And
said that.
she said that yesterday on the phone on the interview. She said that. So if she knew that And she asked him upon seeing him, "Why did you come?" But then proceeded to take him on a West African tour by bus. And you mentioned that yesterday, by bus. She took him from Ghana, they went to Nigeria, they went to Togo, and they went to Benin. After you asked, "Why did you come?" you then take that person in that condition and put them on a bus, and you take them on a tour around West Africa to buy goods for you.
Yeah, that's a great point. But there could also be that maybe when a dying person at some moment you just want to just go around. You've seen people will say, "Take me on the top of John Hopkins Hospital. Let me just look at the sky and die," or "I just want to go to this place," and
I
stuff like
totally
that.
agree. But as a spouse, if I saw my wife in that condition, my first priority
Right,
would be her health and her care. And
right.
if she said, "Take me to the top
I,
of John Hopkins," I
I
would
would
take
say
her and
right
take her back to the hospital.
to the hospital.
I wouldn't put her on a bus and take her around West Africa. So,
You say she trapped your brother. You don't think that is too hard, because hearing how you say you used to take care of Catriona and all of that. She never said bad things about you, only when after he died. If you listen to the interview, she said she
yeah,
was
listen,
not interacting with for your older sister. Never gave her face. I don't know, younger or older sister. Never
younger
gave her
sister.
face.
Yeah.
Right, never gave her face. He tried from the Bellicata thing. She said, but with you, you were off and on, but you were relatable, kind of.
Yeah, I was very, yeah, because as far as I knew, right, whether it was legal, not legal, as far as I knew, my brother introduced her to us at the party with my sister,
Mhm.
and I lived in the same compound, so I saw her interacting with my brother on a daily basis. Okay, so from that standpoint, I treated her as the person living with my brother.
When
Why
you
would
say
I? Why would
you
I?
saw her interacting, you make it look like it's a business deal. Someone come and they buy and they just pass and hello. So that interact action produce Catalina that you say you claim you love.
Yes, that interaction. So, of course. So, do you really think that there was love for my brother when she saw him in that condition and then took him to buy goods for her? I mean, I'm not here to speculate.
Right.
I'm calling it an interaction because of what I saw.
Okay.
I saw how she treated him. I saw how she treated that child. And even yesterday, to pull that child around to bring her on, why did she put that child on video? She could have shown a picture of that child. Why did she put that child through that? And when she took that child to court, when she left the room to go and speak to her lawyer, you could see the pain in that child's face because that child still sees me as her uncle and like her father. So, I won't go into
Why
much detail because
you changed why you changed you rehire a new person besides Tamba, who you gave power of attorney after you lost the case, allegedly lost the case according to her claim at the things that town of court.
so I'm not understanding your question. Why did
So
I change
you
what?
so you sue her, you send a power of attorney to a lawyer by the name of Tama Yama,
That's my cousin. That's not a lawyer.
right, at Yama with a power of attorney. According to her, you lost the case there, and then
Yeah.
you would then move to Criminal Code E at the
Yes.
Temple of Justice,
Yes.
and then with a brand new lawyer and all of that. And
Very good. I'm glad
talk
you
about
asked
that.
that. Yeah. So, it came to our attention that the lawyer that I had secured for the first case was actually dating her sister. And I didn't know that. I've known this guy since I was a child. All right. So I've known him for a long time. And so when he came to me and said that, you know, he would represent us, I said, fine, of course, you know the family, you know the history. But when they went to court, he didn't utter a simple word. He didn't challenge anything. It was up to my cousin to ask him, but aren't you going to say something? And so it became very, you know, suspicious to us that he would be defending us but not say a word in court. Even to the point that, from what I understand, I wasn't there, but to the point that people in the courtroom were, you know, were chastising him. But anyway, that being, you know,
So
being
you think
said,
your lawyer made you to lose the case?
well, I won't say that my lawyer made me to lose the case. All I would tell you is that he did not put up a defense. He didn't question her. He didn't say a word in the court. And I found out later that her sister was living with him. So we changed lawyers. And so now let's talk about the criminal court issue. It's interesting she just mentioned that she was arrested, but she didn't say why. So here's the question. If it was just about evicting her from the property, which I want to get to in a second, but if that was just the issue, why would she be taken to criminal court and quote unquote arrested, and she was supposed to be sent to South Beach as she claimed, right? Well, the reason is because she had sold a vehicle that did not belong to her, that belonged to my sister. She sold the vehicle and she proceeded to sell other properties that were in this very garage that she claimed to have been managing. So to protect, because Christian didn't own the garage, the land, the family owns the land. And the understanding was that when he was actually preparing to relocate his garage to a different
Okay.
place. So yeah, that's why she was taken to court, and that's why she was arrested. It was for theft of property. It wasn't for, you know, taking her out of the house. So you want me to talk about the house, the
You
eviction?
you claim to love your niece and all of that. Do you think she deserves any of her debts? And according to you, that's your brother's daughter.
Yeah.
You just said it. Yeah, and you love her. You think she deserves to be happy or deserves and part of her father's property? And are you guys in her life?
Well, we're not in her life because the mother doesn't want us in her life. The
What effort
mother,
have you made?
uh, I will tell you if you allow me to. First effort that we made is we gave her a lot of property near Catholic Hospital, which is a very valuable property that is an income producing property. And the reason we did that is so this child can be provided for and she can do something for herself as well, right? So this income producing property has a duplex and it has about 3 or 4 houses on there. Now, we do not get any income from that property currently because people built on that property. And so we said to her, look, we will go to court and we will make sure we evict the squatters. And this will be a good property for you because it's income producing. The duplex alone could provide, she could live in one and she could rent the other. And then there are 3 or 4 houses that she could rent and get money from. That is why we gave her that property, because of concern for her child.
But you have not,
Secondly,
according to you, you have not evicted those squatters yet.
no. But I mean, you know how the court situation is in Liberia. It's not a one day event. But here's the point that I want to make. We also offered to pay Catalina's school fees until college, through college, which she rejected. She said she doesn't want us doing anything for her child. Okay? She also admitted that my sister sent some food to her,
Yeah.
which she rejected. She didn't accept it. She rejected it because it was sent by Catalina's brother, the young man that she mentioned that lives on Old Road, he took it and she told him to get out of there. She didn't want anything from us. So she rejected it. Excuse me.
Yeah.
She lied yesterday and said when she opened it, it was expired. That's a lie. She didn't even get it. She left, even to the point where later on, Catalina saw her brother, and anyway. I won't go there because I feel for that child. I don't know what Yesterday, I felt for her because when she put her on the spot and asked her who that was, and she said no. She said no. I feel for that child because anyway, I feel for that child.
When your brother was alive, did you in any way advise him and say, look, this woman, big brother, she's not a good woman. I think you need to quit this relationship.
Listen, I already told you I was not in the habit of advising my oldest brother. People would come to me and they would complain, about various things, from his garage, from other things. And the simple question I would ask them is, what exactly do you want me to say to my oldest brother? Should I call him and sit him down and tell him, say, I got something to tell you and you better listen? That's not our culture. That's not our tradition. Okay? So I will say that. But I will also mention that she made sure, when I told you that I thought she took advantage of him, she made sure that she got rid of everybody that was close to Christian prior to her moving in. And she admitted that she moved in to the property where Christian lived in 2015.
She said that.
There was a cook. She said that. There was a cook that cooked for Christian for 10 years. And when she moved in, she fought that lady. The lady is in Liberia now. She threw her down the stairs, about 15 flights of stairs. She threw the lady down the stairs. The lady, her arm, her legs, and everything. Okay? Why did she get rid of that lady? Because the lady found
Did Christian leave a will? We lost him, and those of you following, I was just about to get to the part of the will, and I hope Vannie will come back. We're going to read some of your comments. Sarah put to say she needs to expect whatsoever the family gave her because many family members will not do what this family is doing. Wicked people, I can't imagine what Carolina is going through. How would a lady take advantage of such respectable man? She never trapped him. He loved her. Jenna Cully, please talk on the topic. People and wickedness. The boy run away. That's from by Daniel King Java. What if the lady joined on her to fight? You need to stop telling lies on the lady, man. So we're waiting. We hope that we're just about to go through the will part. On the will, it's about to ask him if he thinks his brother is resting in peace. I'm KWAME always coming to you here live from Monrovia. And name my friends, we're trying. I see him come back here again, and I hope that he is. Vannie. Agnes down. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, welcome back, Vannie.
Okay. Sorry about that. I got a call that interrupted the video.
Okay. So I was asking you, did your late senior brother leave a will? And if he did, what was in it?
Yeah, he did. He did leave a will.
Was Catalina mentioned inside?
Yes, Catalina was mentioned. His desire was for all of his property to be equally divided among his 5 children. He has 5 children.
Based
and he
on
said
what?
his property.
So what his desire in wills are absolute decisions. They don't say a desire. Say this must happen.
Yeah, I just said, but what you say must happen is your desire, right?
No, but when it becomes a will, it is not a desire.
No,
You know,
no,
this is, you said,
I didn't say the will
I'm
says it's
leaving
desire. I
in
said
the will you, although
the
I
will
died before
captures,
and I've not left one, I ain't died yet and I have not left one. But when the
yes,
will is read, it said, give me, give John Brown, you know, XYZ, give Paul this, give Peter that, 1/4 of that, blah, 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 and it's read and everybody part their way.
yes. Okay. I mean, I'm not
Was
gonna,
Cat,
you know, I'm
yeah,
not gonna
was
debate
Catalina
semantics,
name
but
mentioned or it was the will was done holistically?
um, I think I already yes, and I mean, I don't want to, you know, debate semantics, but a will reduces to paper the express desire. That's why it's called a will, right?
Okay,
It expressed desire and will of the
right.
individual. So
Was his
that's why I said,
desire, was his desire implemented?
yes.
What
I mean,
was his
she told,
what was his desire for what for Catalina? Did he mention Caroline in the will?
no, he did not. He did not mention Caroline in the will. And we asked him specifically about Caroline, and he repeated, I want my property to be divided among my 5 children.
When
And
did you
she
ask
told,
him? When
when,
he was
well, it's important to mention that I was in Liberia when he died. I was in Liberia, which he admitted to yesterday. I was in Liberia when he was on his deathbed. But the family that was with him made sure that they asked him specifically about Caroline. And he repeated, I want my property to be divided among my 5 children. And to date, Catalina is the only person, the only one of his 5 children that has gotten a property promised to her. None of the other children have had any property promised to them just yet because, and the
who
reason why, the
who,
reason
who is the administrator of that?
I am the administrator of the estate. And the issue is that there is no property that is listed in any of our names because the property is still in my parents' name. Okay? So but we agreed as a family that we would transfer once we evicted the people off the property, we would transfer the ownership to Catalina. We offered to transfer it to Caroline, and she said, no, put it in my child's name. And we said, okay. And she showed you the agreement. And let me just talk a little bit about the agreement because she
Let
said,
this question, can you answer this question from
sure,
this guy? He said, how could they ask about Carolina and there was a will?
no, no. So what do you mean? I don't understand that question. First of all, Christian stated, and that's why I said his desire, because he was on his deathbed when the will was prepared. Okay,
Hmm.
so when he stated what he wanted, it was reduced to writing, and so obviously the question was asked, "What about Caroline?" And he repeated, "I want my property to be divided among my 5 children." Okay, so I
Yeah,
mean,
but according to what Mr. Gilman is saying here again, wills are usually executed. You don't ask why. There's no more why when a will is left. I remember a white man was in hospice, and there was this Ghanaian girl who was taking care of him. The children couldn't come, and he had, I think, 1.8 million. And he called his lawyer and he removed his 2 children and willed the money to the Ghanaian maid. On the day they were reading the will, he called the children, and then the Ghanaian girl were there and they read it. The 2 white girls dropped because so it's to execute. How are they asking questions? I don't get it.
no. So I think I'm not a lawyer. Maybe this gentleman is a lawyer and he can correct me. But obviously, a will is executed once the person is deceased. And
Right.
usually someone prepares a will in advance, right? So we
Right.
knew that Christian, because when it was apparent that Christian was not going to survive his illness, the doctor asked him, "Do you have a will?" And he said no. The doctor then turned to us and said, "You might want to prepare a will now." Okay? And
Mhm.
so that's how this whole issue of the will came about. Usually there is a will
You
already
think
prepared.
it was all? You think it was alter, or do you guys have video to that effect so that people don't speculate or think that something happened?
I think that's an issue for the authorities to decide, right? And the question, but here's the question, right? Here's the question. She said that we don't want to do anything for her child, but we gave her child property, right? She said we wanted her to be
She
lonely.
brought the documents. Everything you're saying, she said it
Right.
and she brought it.
So but I'm just
I was on the worry saying why 2025? That's something hypothetical that will happen in the future. Why it
not
didn't happen?
no, not hypothetical. That so since you brought it up, let me talk about that real quick.
Mhm.
That contract that she brought, she stated she told another lie on the video yesterday and said that I absconded from the court. That I said I was coming back and then I jumped on the plane and came to America. That was a lie, because I was there for all of the hearings, and the agreement that was finally reached was signed by the very same judge. The judge is the one that signed the agreement. So like I said in the beginning, so why are we here? We negotiated. She said what she wanted. We said what we could do. She agreed. She signed, and she signed before the judge.
You think she got closure? You saying while we're here, you think she got closure?
Closure?
Yep.
What is what is closure?
For
When
her, she said closure is she wants to know where her husband was buried or if he died. She said she got no proof of him being deceased.
yeah, but yeah, so let me just point out the inconsistencies in that right there.
And
She said, let me finish, I beg. She said that she doesn't know that he's dead, right? She has no proof that he's dead,
no,
right?
I said she said she doesn't have proof, yet she thinks that he's dead, but she cannot, get that 1% to say, okay, yes, I saw the body and this is what's happening. This is where he was buried, blah, blah, blah. Like you find a guy gets shot in Iraq, obliterated by shrapnels, IEDs, body can be found, and the parents will save up. They just, talk to the Iraqi government to go to that particular town and play a wreath or flower, and that's closure for them.
Yes. But when she was offered closure, and you said on the video yesterday, I've got great news. There's a gentleman that said he has tracked your husband down. He is not dead. He did a name change and he lives in Mississippi.
Yeah.
What was her response? And you specifically asked her, how do you feel about this? She went mute for about 30 seconds, and it was
Yeah.
an uncomfortable
Yeah.
silence.
Yeah,
And
because
then
she couldn't believe
let
it,
me
and the guy came back
let
to
me
correct
finish.
that. Anybody
Let me
would.
let me finish, please. Let me finish. So she was silent. But let me ask you this though. If I suspect that my loved one is still alive and I get news before the correction, I get news that he is alive, wouldn't you jump at the opportunity and say, please show me where he is? I want to see him. Please show me where he is. There was
Yeah,
none of that. There was none of that.
we react to different news the way.
Yeah,
I
that's
know.
true. That's true. Yeah. Like she reacted with no tears. And let
You
me
think
just
she
let me
got? You think she deserved justice? I don't want to say deserve. You think she got justice? I
oh
don't
she
want to say
will
deserve.
my brother. Our God is a just God, and she will get her justice. It's not for me to give. She will get her justice. Our God is a just God, and trust me, she will get her justice. But let me just mention something to you. She said to you that and it's another inconsistency in her story. She said that when she finally got Christian's older son on the line, and she did a video chat, she forced him to turn the video on so she could see her husband. She said that when she saw him, play the video back, you will hear it. She said he was almost dead. She said it was like someone was between life and death. I could. You seem to be frozen. Do you recall that?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And then she said she came to me. She did. She called me and she said she wanted to see me. I came downstairs and she came to me and she said, Mr. Baker, I saw your brother on video. Your brother is dying, is what she said to me. Okay? And I said to her, I said, we rebuke that. It's not going to happen. And I turned around and I was heading back to my apartment because I was working from home at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And she followed me. She said, oh, Mr. Baker, I want to ask you a question. This is after you just came to the realization that your husband is on his deathbed, right? She followed me. She said, oh, Mr. Baker, I want to ask you a question. I said, yes. What's the question? And you know the question this lady asked me?
Mm-hmm.
She said to me, she said, oh, Mr. Baker, have you all decided what you're going to do about the garage? I said, what garage? She said, the garage on Benson Street. I said, well, you running the garage. She even admitted yesterday that we hadn't bothered her about the garage.
Yeah.
I said, you running the garage. So why are you asking me about the garage? She said, no, are you going to question? Because here is my brother. Do you think at that time I'm concerned about property? And I turned to her and I said to her, I said, is that what you are concerned about? I said, right now we are praying and fasting that my brother gets up from that bed. Nobody is thinking about property.
Was there anything definitive in his will? Spell out. Not raw to say, okay, take care of my children, look at my property. Was there anything definitive like what we see in other wills?
No, the will was very short. And by the way, it was notarized in the hospital by a notary. So, that I just want to point that out. I will say again, his will said that his property evenly children. And we have begun to implement that by giving Catalina one lot already, income producing lot.
You think your brother is resting in peace? Amidst all of this?
I've never gone to the great beyond. So I know wherever my brother is, he is at rest. All right? Because I know that he accepted Christ as his savior, and therefore he is at rest.
Traditionally, when these things happening and maybe the child is not acting right, family fighting, they will say, old man Weeks is flipping in his grave by now. When it's a good news, they'll say, my old man Weeks is dancing in his grave. That's why I ask you this question. You think your brother is rejoicing in his grave or he's flipping around based on all of these things happening?
No, my brother is at rest. My brother is at rest. Trust me, I believe that my brother is at rest because of the promise of Scripture, number one. And number two, he is not here to deal with this woman. Okay? She came and tried to present herself as a calm, all this, that, and the other, telling a bunch of lies. But I am convinced that my brother is at rest.
Have you eaten out of her hands before, like a cooked meal?
Absolutely not. Absolutely
Why?
not. Absolutely not. I told you, the lady, well, the first thing she did, this, well, I won't even call her lady. The first thing this woman did was to get rid of his cook that was cooking for him for 10 years. Masera knew that my brother had a health issue, so she knew to cook his food without salt. She knew to
Mhm.
cook his food without pepper because she knew my brother had a health issue. And this health issue dated all the way back to 2010, 2011. So she was cooking his food according to the requirements of his doctor. The reason this woman jumped Masera to fight is because Masera found her putting some foreign substance into his food. There are
To
people,
kill him?
you can ask her why she was putting
So,
it there.
I want you to look
There,
into the
let,
camera. You're
let me,
saying you're accusing her of killing your brother?
I am telling you what people in the compound know. This is, I'm not speculating. I'm telling you what people in the compound know. The compound is still there, and there are people still
So
there.
she killed.
Master lives,
So she killed.
let me
So she
finish.
killed her husband.
Let me finish, please. Let me finish. I can't sit here and tell you that she killed her husband because I know her husband died from kidney and heart failure. But if you're asking me, did she contribute to his death? I said yes, absolutely. Because again, I will go back to the scene in Ghana. If I saw someone with fluids in their legs, and every night, the only thing I did, as not a nurse, I'm not a doctor, and the only thing I cared to do was to prop their legs up on pillow so that their fluid can drain, and then took that person and put them on the bus to go to Nigeria, to go to Benin, to go to Togo, so they can buy me goods. She absolutely contributed to the death of my brother. Absolutely. Because what she did, even in, forget about the other stuff, but even in that instance, she contributed because she did not, if she had the temerity and the audacity to ask him, why did you come? Why didn't she
You
say,
don't
I'm
think
putting you
that is
back on
too
the plane?
strong for what she's going through, and you're accusing her now
Going
of
through what?
murder?
Going through what? Going through what, my brother? She met Krishna, she told you, since 2015. Krishna died in 2022. Do the math. I met Krishna in 1964 when I was born. Krishna met my brother in 1968. I mean, 62 when he was born. So who do you think is in more pain? The person that met Christian in 2015 or the one that knew him and grew up with him?
How many wives and children did your brother have? How many marriages, or let's say suspected marriages? Because you say even this one he had is not was not, but like known women in his life. And did he have other kids, Liberian kids here?
Yeah, I think she even mentioned that yesterday, that he has a son that lives on the old road. She talked about his mother, and she mentioned that she took the mother to court, right?
Right.
Because the mother was interfering in her in
She
her
said, she
relationship,
said,
right?
right.
She said that yesterday. The mother lives in on Old Road.
Did she,
I'll reach out to her. Yeah, she's on Old Road.
is she
She's there in
is she
Liberia.
legally married to him as well?
No, she was not married to him. They had a kid out of wedlock. They were not married. But Christian was married. Christian was married twice that I know of, and I say twice that I know of because I was his best man in both of his weddings. I was his best man when he got married to Betty in New York. I was his best man in his wedding when he got married to Pam in Savannah, Georgia. But I was not
And those two
invited to. Let me
women,
finish,
those two
sir.
women
Please.
are alive.
Yes. Well, let me finish, please, sir. But I didn't know about this so-called thing that happened in Liberia. Okay, I was his best man in both of his wedding. Betty is still alive. Pam is deceased. And Pam was deceased in 2018. Pam died in 2018. I will say that again. Pam died in 2018, and there's a reason why I'm stressing that. But she died in 2018. Okay.
1 year later,
Yeah,
he got married to her.
my brother, the woman came on last night. She told you a lot of stuff, but she also told you that she and Christian were married and introduced to the family at my sister's 50th birthday party.
Mhm.
My sister was born 1967. You can do the math.
But she said they met, I think, 2008 or 9, but they got married 2019.
I just I just told you, oh man. She admitted on your show that part of the lies she told. She admitted on your show that she was at my sister's 50th birthday party. My sister was born 1967. So do the math.
Okay.
Add 50 to 67. What do you get? You get 2019 or you get 2017? My math, when I
What?
do it on my calculator, it tells me 2017. And there's a reason why she is saying 2019 because Pam died 2018. She was complicit. She knew the man was married.
So she saw the danger and then she went for it.
Well, I don't know what she saw and I don't know what she went after. I will just remind you that when she saw the video of her husband on his deathbed, the only question that she asked me was, what are we doing with the property?
You still think about Catalina, or will you still want to meet her?
My heart grieves for that child. My heart grieves for her because I see her um as my own child. Okay. That child was, I told you she would leave that child in Pampers and let the security look after her while she went to town to do whatever it is she wanted to do. And she wouldn't come home until about 6 o'clock. And it was my wife that said to Christian, she said, this child needs to be in school. She should not be taken care of by these men, these older men that are here as security and minding this child. That's how that child ended up going to school.
Is
And
there is there
you
is
asked
there
her
any good thing about her?
about who? Catalina?
Not Catalina, Caroline. Since you've interacted with her, is there any good thing about her that you notice?
You know, I will tell you, I will give you a scripture. In in the gospel, there is an instance where a very wealthy man comes to Christ and he asks Christ what he should do to be saved. And he
Hmm.
calls Christ a good man. And Christ says to him, why do you call me good? Only God is good. That was Christ's response. So when you ask me, is she a good person or is there anything good? I myself that I'm sitting here, I'm a sinner saved by grace. So if you ask me if I'm a good person, I am not a good person. I will tell you that none of us are. We are only saved by grace. And it is the grace of God that keeps us.
Based on what happened, and we're getting to the end with all of this hullabaloo, rigmarole, and all of that chaos, ripple effects, family feuds, these things not going to go away. If you look back, will you have done something different, or do you take any blame for any of this?
Would I have done anything differently? Look, you know, when we look back at our past behavior, we have the benefit of hindsight. And one of the benefits of hindsight is you are now faced with information that you did not have when you went through that experience. So if you ask me, what would I have done anything differently? No, I would not, because at the time I dealt and did and made decision based on the information that I had. So if I
Mm-hmm.
were to be put in the same situation, I probably do the same thing because it's all the information that I had at the time.
Right.
Now, different information, absolutely. I wish things were different. I wish that my brother had never left from the U.S. to go back to Ghana, because in 2021, there is, after his death, he made a trip to Texas and he visited with my cousin. And my cousin took him to
Mm-hmm.
a prophet. And the prophet told him, he said, do not go back to Liberia. If you go to Liberia, you will die. He thought, my brother thought he was very smart, which he was, and he thought he would out the prophet, Liberia, but he brought Liberia to Ghana. In less than a year, he was dead. So what the prophet said came to be true.
Wow. Do you have any remorse?
Remorse about what?
I mean, maybe, oh no, I should have done this for Catalina. I should have done this to help my brother, or, like that little less of remorse of somewhere you thought that you would have intervened and this wouldn't have happened today.
Well, I think that question is very similar to the previous question you asked me. Would I have done anything differently? Remorse comes out of regret. Remorse comes out of a feeling of guilt. I do
Right.
not have any. I don't have any guilt because we did nothing wrong. What we did at the time was to handle the situation as best as we could
Mhm.
with the information we had at the time. Okay, that's what we did. And I've already told you, if I had to go back and do things
You will
again
repeat,
with the
you will do the same
information that
thing.
I had at the time, I would do the same thing.
Mhm.
I would do the same thing.
What you want the world to know?
What do I want the world to know? When you say the world, are you talking about these comments that I'm reading here?
No,
Listen,
not the comments. I'm talking about you have to come, and it takes a man to come out and say, "Look, I got to put this to rest." So you say, "I say." When I say "were," it encapsulates all of us within our setting, the Liberian setting of people who, when they tomorrow watch this and they'll be like, I know I prejudged him yesterday, but I think he came out swinging.
this is not. Look, this is grossly unfortunate. Okay, let me start by saying that it is unfortunate that we are in this situation. It is unfortunate that we are even having this conversation. Okay?
Okay.
Why are we here? And I asked a bunch of questions. Of course, if I had a magic wand, I'm hearing background noise from, but if I had a magic wand and I could make things different, of course, I would love to interact with my niece as I did in the past. But I will tell you this publicly. You said, what do I want the world to know? There are a couple of things I want the world to know. The first is, as I stated before, of your faith, but I am a just God. I serve a loving God, but he's a just God. And sometimes we forget that. We outside of God, but God is just. So that's the first thing I want people to know, that we serve a God of justice. That's the first thing I want people to know. The second thing I want people to know is that this family that she is trying to besmear is not the kind of people that would do that we did. Okay, there are many people that know this family and know the family history. I'm not going to sit here on a pedestal and try to brag, but there are many people that know the family and know the family history. Okay,
Did your
so
brother have a life insurance?
no, my brother did not have life insurance. Not that I'm aware of.
None of
But
that.
can I just touch on something? Can I just touch on something right quick since you brought up life insurance?
Yeah.
You asked her yesterday, she mentioned something about Social Security. There are two things I want to touch on. One, I want to talk about that Social Security issue. He was receiving Social Security payments here in the US, but because he died before the retirement age, that Social Security was not for him. It was a death benefit for his wife, Pam, that passed away. He was receiving that. And that is why he could not apply for a visa for her, because the American government, the US government, was giving him monthly payments for the death of his wife. How could he now come to that very same government and say, please let me bring my wife and child from Liberia? Are you crazy?
Are you aware that he wanted to take his wife and kids to take both of them
Oh yeah.
to the
Oh
US?
yeah, I'm aware because I was in Liberia when he met them in Ghana, and he called me from Ghana. And he said to me, and I know that the only reason he called me is because the phone was on speaker and she made him call. Because the question that he asked me didn't make sense. He called me and he said, Vannie, is it possible for me to take Caroline and Catalina back to the US with me from Ghana? And I said, Christian, why you ask that question? I said, you have to apply for a visa for them. I said, but my understanding is you have to apply for a visa of their residency at the embassy in Monrovia. Okay?
Was he a US
And he said,
citizen?
didn't she show his green card yesterday?
I know that's an old one.
Okay. Well, no, he was not a US citizen.
What do you say to
He
Alistair prayer? She said, go, yes. She said, go and help the little child. That's all you need to do. This from
oh,
one lady named Alistair.
Alistair, please let Alistair know that we plan to do that regardless of the mother. Okay? There will be an account established in Catalina's name.
Good job.
When Catalina turns 18, she will receive an account, and until she turns that, will have the income put in her name. And thank God this woman asked us to put the property in Catalina's name, because if it was in her name, Catalina probably wouldn't receive anything. So, in hindsight, I'm really glad. Like I said, there's anything I would do differently because we operated under the facts that we had at the time.
Josephine Marshall, she said, all these properties and earthly things are vanity. Go and settle and be in peace. This is what the God you're speaking about will want. She thinks she likes your spiritual comments and responses from the Bible, but then you're not applying the forgiving part of it.
No, I didn't. Did I say I didn't forgive her? And maybe she didn't watch the video yesterday, but she should go back and watch it. And there is a settlement. There was a settlement that she agreed to and signed before the judge. So she got money and she got property. So I don't know what she's referring to about giving her. I don't know what else I'm supposed to give her.
Is the $4,000 enough, or was it enough?
Is the $4,000 enough? I don't know. You tell me. If you going to rent an apartment and you spend $4,000 to rent an apartment, that's what apartments cost in Liberia.
No, but then you have to live. You still got more years ahead of you.
That is, and I'm so glad you brought that up, because I remember from your interview yesterday, you asked her, are you employed? And she said no. Now, at her age, why hasn't, and then you asked her, has she been looking for a job? She said no. So how does she
Remember,
intend to
Liberia is a hard country.
I understand that, my brother. I understand that, my brother. But
we that are professionals working normal and all of that, they kick us out of job because of partisan, and all of that. That's a whole different thing. And then to get a job,
I understand.
right?
I understand, my brother. I I understand. So that means nobody. So that means we shouldn't even look for a job. I myself not employed. You know, I left my job in 2022 when my brother died. I said, so I myself not employed. So does that mean we should just sit down because you
Can
know?
you put a money value on all of Christian's property? Can you give us a
Chris-
cap?
But here's the thing, though. Christian has no property. Christian,
Okay.
Christian, Christian, Christian's parents died, and Christian's parents said
Left.
that the property should be. They left the property to five. I told you five. There are five of
Yeah.
us.
Oh,
So here's the thing,
it's a
right?
good thing you clarified
Yeah.
that part.
So Christian is 20%. Um, Christian is 20% of the estate. Okay.
Yeah. Go
Oh,
ahead.
yeah. Yeah. Christian is 20% of the estate. If you get the estate and you divide it in five, that's 20%. Okay. And then Christian have five children. Okay. So his 20% gets divided into five, right? So if you
Of
take five
course.
and divide it into 20, that's what? Five times what is 20? That's four, right?
Right.
So if you divide it if you divide that 20 into five, you get four. So by that estimation, Catalina is entitled to 4% of my parents' estate because
Mhm.
Christian doesn't own anything in Liberia. Everything is
Okay.
in my parents, and I, as the administrator of the estate, will ensure that Catalina gets her 4%. In fact, she will get more. She will get more. And the reason she will get more is Christian has two older children that live in the US that probably have no intent on going to Liberia. So the Liberian property is probably of more value to Christian's children that reside in Liberia. So she will get more
Have
than the
you
4%.
connected Catalina with her brothers and sister in the U.S.?
Yes, I've connected Catalina, but she told you that she's been in
How
touch with
often do they talk? Because this world, you don't want her in future to end up sleeping with her own brother.
So I'm glad you brought that up. Here is something else I found very peculiar about your interview yesterday, and I couldn't help but wonder. She said that everybody has deserted her, and I think you even asked her. You said so.
Mhm. How we lost him. So we we lost we lost him, and I hope he will come back. And once he comes back, we want to be wrapping it up. We'll be heading out to town now, where we're going to, you know. Josephine said, "Great word, Kwame. It's Carolina the Bible. That's from Jorena Cardu. Brother, you'll bring the child closer to y'all so you can know your as family. You know, all of you are the best, Papa. That's Alice Iyala. Uh, okay, let's see if he's back. Yeah, Vannie is back. Let's see if we can add Vannie. He's still having technical issues. Uh, I mean, what do you guys think about so far what you've heard? You can type in the comment section, and then we're gonna wrap it up in the next 2 minutes. So, Alistair Parks said, Mr. Wicks, you are asking the right question, but he's beating around the bushes. Agnes, I like all of your questions, Mr. Wicks. Thank you, Ms. Dawn. Keep your comments coming because we've got only 2 more minutes and to wrap them up. And let me read what your thoughts on this particular, rigmarole or hullabaloo or melee or whatever. Ike Francis, he said, good job, Mr. Weeks. Still following and watching live from Lagos, Nigeria. I wish she will experience what this lady is going through. Some women are just heartless. That's from Jorena Cardu. Memona Dennis, will he be willing to make peace for the sake of his brother? Keep up the good work, my brother. That's Ignatius Otis Akenton. Thank you so much, Otis. We will keep up the good work fighting for our people or giving voice to the voiceless. Keep your comments coming. We got 1 more minute to read your comments. All of you that are trending with us, and it's a good thing again. Like I said, we will be, with the comedian tonight, Joseph Dean, and then we will later on talk about the final comment concerning, our work and move forward in the future. Keep the comments coming. I sent the request to join. Yeah, Vannie, you sent, but it's not showing from my end. And we've got only a minute to go. You gotta resend the request again, Vannie, and I can see you out there. Try to refresh and resend, but I can't see you. But at least you've made your point. Babla means confusion between them. Please ask if you do not understand the meaning of the saying. I don't know. I want to join. That's Catherine Chuan Antri. Kojo Antri's daughter. Okay. Anyway, we're going to hold a general conversation this evening. Don't forget, I will be on here if you have concerns about, social media, Facebook, and all of that. We will be able to bring you. Keep up the good work. That's from Ruth Roberts, Mr. Weeks. You are the best, Mr. Weeks. That's from Alice Yala. Watching from America. Good job, Mr. Kwame Weeks. That's Evelyn Collins. Thanks, Evelyn. He ain't no beating around the bush. The family wants to take care of the child. She's refusing, but the man himself did not even own any property. It's his family property. And I know, Gwen, there's similar things happening to us. We have these global property. I think if you look, based on the both side conversation, I think either side needs to, release the reins of their horses and take them back into the barn. Ain't no nothing lost here. Anyway, we just want to say thanks so much. It's from Josephine Marsha. Keep going, and we're keeping on as well. We want to say thanks, God bless you, and good luck. Bye bye.